Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is our Friday night Smackdown review. And Ashton and I already kind of know how he feels about the Smackdown, and he knows how I feel about the Smackdown. We're very interactive in the Discord tonight. You can be interactive in the Discord, too, if you donate $3 to the TWitWoW Patreon. We have a live wrestling discussion channel where patrons can discuss Raw, NXT, Smackdown, other shows, too, AEW Dynamite, if they stay up late enough to watch Japanese shows. That's what the live wrestling discussion channel is for. So you can get in on that if you wish, again, for only $3 a month. And what we were saying in the Discord was mostly positive, because next week is the Money in the Bank go-home show. You figure we are 9 days away from Money in the Bank. And for this episode tonight, some moves they made surprised me, not necessarily in a negative way, particularly with Jimmy Uso. And everything else seemed more or less solid. They've bulked up the women's division. They're going to bulk it up, even more, because we had a debuting tag team tonight, kind of a surprising combination. And we got a vignette for another talent that I think is going to be a huge get for SmackDown, just in terms of like how successful she'll be on there. Main event was great, just the main event scene, I mean. Men's Money in the Bank is stacked, and that Rollins-Cesaro qualifier, I have a good bit to say about that. Overall, I think this was a stellar episode. I give this a strong thumbs up. How'd you feel, man?
Yeah, really, really strong episode. I didn't hate anything on this show at all. There is one negative thing that I have to say, but I would not call it a heat of the night, because it's still, like, more enjoyable in the current... It's hard to explain. I'll explain it in the first segment, but it's not a heat of the night. But yeah, really, really good show. Everything involving the main event scene and the Money in the Bank scene was great. I loved all of that. And I've got some stuff to be excited for in the future. So let's get into our first segment.
I hear that, man. Heat of the night. I've really got nothing. There was really nothing that overly perturbed me on this show. Maybe a head scratcher or two, but again, that's not necessarily a negative thing. So I'm just going to hand it over to you to kind of qualify the one thing that you wouldn't even call heat of the night, but that you just want to address in this segment.
Really, it's more... kind of predicting, how do I put this? What do you call those people that are always trying to predict the end of the world?
Not clairvoyance.
No.
Not doomers.
Well, that's kind of what it is, though. I'm going to basically be a doomer here. I think that tonight's changes to SmackDown's women's division are going to make us feel like we got genuinely spoiled over the course of the last 2 years, at least the last year and a half, because this entire time that we have been getting Sasha, Bayley, and Bianca as SmackDown Women's Champion, I think once that era ends, which I do believe will be within the next probably 9-10 months, SmackDown's women's division is going to be something that is going to end up showing up in this segment quite often, I think. Because Bayley being gone now is obviously a huge blow to the division. So I understand why they would want to call people up from NXT to try and fill that void. But the problem is 2 of the 3 women that they're calling up to fill that void are the exact type of women that you and I are going to end up having heats of the night for, because Tegan Nox, we always talk about, like, she's an okay wrestler, but, like, her psychology is ass, because she cares more about just emoting and expressing how much pain she's in and expressing how massively shocked she is when somebody kicks out of a move that never wins matches and stuff like that. And Vince loves that shit. So he's going to push the hell out of her. And Toni Storm is another one that you and I consistently say, like, she's boring, she's kind of whatever, she's a kind of a cringe on the mic, she's not very good at anything other than just wrestling, and even the wrestling aspect she's just good at, she's not amazing by any means. And she's a cute blonde, and Vince is going to love that too. And so I feel like those 2 are going to get pushed to the absolute moon over the course of the next year or 2, and it's going to be a net negative for us.
If I could just say my own piece about the state of the women's division, not even necessarily directly responding to you per se, because I don't really have anything to say in direct response, because I really don't necessarily even disagree. I think we're going to find out. I mean, you said one. I think you said it perfectly, but just to kind of reiterate in my own way, I think we're going to find out just how much Bayley specifically was the motor of this women's division. Because the one praise I would always give her, dude, is that she didn't even have to be involved with the championship to be compelling. And I always contrasted her with a character, oddly fucking enough, given the situation now, like a Carmella, where she's only at her most interesting when she's pursuing the championship. And to me, that's a pretty lackluster performer character-wise.
Yeah.
But you could have put Bayley, I mean, just kind of resetting the clock a little bit, you could have put Bayley at the time when she was still employed there in a program with Ruby Riott. Would have been awesome. Liv Morgan would be awesome. Insert anybody. Would be awesome because Bayley knows how to get other people over and she fundamentally understands her own character. Now, I want to be careful what I say next here. There is never a positive when somebody gets injured, and I am going to play favorites, and I'm going to say, especially when they are a workhorse and they are a caliber, the likes of Bayley, who has been the motor to a division. So there's not a positive here. What there is a challenge. Because these women now are going to have to work 10 times as hard to fill the void that Bayley left. Yeah. Because Bayley, and you know, like I said, I would call this less heat of the night tonight since you and I don't have any complaints. And this is like a state of the, you know, the women's division address, you know, state of Bayley address, right? She mastered her craft. Yeah. Like she fucking mastered it. These past, it feels like 2 years belong to her, to me. And like, yeah, Sasha and all them, but again, like, just Bayley, I think, was on another level for me personally. I think I even ranked her above Sasha a few times in Fave 5s, but I digress. The point being, the women now, and again, it's not a positive, but it is the truth of our industry. Somebody goes down, how bad do you want it? Because I can tell you, Toni Storm is going to be a top star in this division. Is she going to be able to draw ratings like Bayley does? I don't know. I doubt it immensely. I doubt it. But I want these women to look at it like a challenge. People like Bayley and Sasha and Becky, who's been gone for a while now, make women's wrestling compelling. Bayley being injured passes the baton to us. Yep. In a way, bro, I'm going to be truthful with you. I'm disappointed that Shotzi's immediately starting off in a tag team. I think with Shotzi, you've got a Jeff Hardy for the women's division, and I mean like Rockstar over 2009 Jeff Hardy.
I mean, she could definitely get there for sure. The question that I have to raise is whether Vince is going to be willing to do anything about it. Because I
don't think he is.
Vince has always had an aversion to girls with alt looks.
Exactly. And so you could see them beefing up the women, which is great because, I mean, to be fair, even if Bayley was still in the mix, which she was until tonight, they were just nominating women for the Money in the Bank ladder match. You inject more women in the division, maybe next year you can actually do proper qualifiers. That would be fucking nice. But this is the time to flex. Bayley was a huge part of making women's wrestling a cornerstone of this company. Easily leapfrogging. Tag team wrestling really has become the most irrelevant division thanks to the efforts of people like Sasha and Bayley firmly establishing women's wrestling as a draw. And Io and Asuka and Kairi and many.
And
these women have got to...
in the other company, Riho.
Exactly. They've got to step it up now. Big time. Because I am gutted that Bayley is gone. And I'm even more shocked that they didn't do like a behind the scenes, you know, Bayley injury, whatever. And instead they kept her in character. She's still a heel. And I don't know whether to be happy about that or what. I kind of have mixed feelings about that I'll have to sort out another time. But they know what they're doing with Bayley. You know, we've lost the top heel. Maybe we can make another one. I'd still say Bianca's kind of the top face. And if they ever would get behind Shotzi, that would be the only serious competition I think Bianca could have. But even though I agree with your general sentiments to kind of link our addresses together, that we are probably going to have complaints about like a lot of these women and in some cases just how they're used and in other cases just them in general. I really want to see what the women's division is going to look like in the next 9 months in Bayley's absence. Maybe lesser if Bayley's aggressive in rehab. But let's see what it becomes without her. Because either we're going to look back on this and say, my God, you really fucking needed Bayley. She was the soul of this division and it died with her, with this absence. Or, you know what? They showed that while they bled out at first, they patched up the wound and they didn't do half bad. And that's what I'm hoping for, but only time will tell. And it's just very interesting that they're getting all their ducks in a row like this. So I'm glad we did. Yeah.
It's so like it's weird. It's like I feel like calling women up, calling anyone up, forget the gender thing for now. Calling people up is almost becoming an art form in and of itself, because if you call the wrong people up, they're going to just either not get used at all, get used for a very short period of time and then not get used at all, or just get used incorrectly. So like you really, it's really becoming like less about, oh, this person's ready to be called up, and more about, oh, this person's ready to be called up into a spot on the main roster that they are needed in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like right now, like they called up 3 girls from NXT, and all 3 of them are talented in their own rights. Like I'm not trying to say that like Tegan and Tony suck or anything like that. They're both talented performers. Shotzi's a talented performer in her own right. Problem is the perspective, like the perception, not the perspective, the perception of the 3 of them in NXT versus the perception of the 3 of them on the main roster is going to change completely. Because in NXT, they were relatively close to the same level. I think Tony was kind of that gatekeeper to the main event. She wasn't really a main eventer herself. Tegan was like kind of that like budding, cusping star. Like maybe eventually she can get there. Shotzi was damn close to being main event material. Like they were all like right on the cusp. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Main roster, that dynamic goes out the fucking window. Tony and Tegan, and especially Tony, I think, I will say, because Tegan, the injury-prone thing is going to bite her. Tony's going to get pushed to the fucking moon. Tony is going to be SmackDown Women's Champion within the calendar year, I think. Tony is going to get the rocket up her ass quickly.
Oh, I 1,000% co-sign with that.
Shotzi, I would love to be proven wrong on this. I don't know if Shotzi Blackheart, and they actually dropped the Blackheart, so I need to get used to just calling her Shotzi. I don't know if Shotzi is ever going to hold major singles gold on the main roster.
Just to interject very quickly on that, bro, and I'm just being truthful from where I sit, I think Ruby Riott overall, now Ruby Soho, was an overall better wrestler than Shotzi Blackheart.
Better overall performer. Better
overall
in
performer.
The ring, better. I think you could make an argument, maybe even better look.
Yeah, if she didn't win a singles, if she didn't even win the fucking tag titles,
yeah,
I worry for Shotzi. I do.
I think Shotzi's energy might line up with Vince's a little bit better than Ruby's did, because I just kind of get really, really high energy vibes from Shotzi, whereas Ruby seemed a lot more chill, and Vince is not drawn to that type at all. I maybe, like I said, I could be proven wrong, and I'm hoping I'm proven wrong, but I really have to wonder if Shotzi's ever going to see gold at this point. Like I really wanted her to win the NXT Women's title before getting called up, because I worry that it's going to be another situation like with Ruby, where she puts on great performances and she has really fun matches with people and she does silly segments that are fun and get her over, and she starts to get cheers and it just goes nowhere. Just like what happened with Ruby, except Ruby really didn't even get any opportunity. Like she never really got an opportunity to get a real face run, but when she was a heel run, she got fucking Natalya over as a goddamn face, better than she's ever been. Like it's insane how well Ruby did her job and did not get rewarded for it at all,
Yeah. Dude, if I may, just to touch on very quickly the NXT landscape, that got kind of fucked too, because I agree with you that I really wanted Shotzi to win the championship before she left. Saturday now, I don't know what they're going to do with her, because it would seem very obvious that her and Tony, or at the very least, were going to do a mini program. And now I guess it's good that Tony said no to her challenge, because she wasn't going to be able to follow through on it anyway. And Tony made that tease with Raquel. So, and this hurts Raquel, too, because here's the thing. NXT had the advantage before. We have people, whether heel or face, that are, that have a solid enough work rate that they can carry Raquel to, a decent matchup. NXT got kind of fucked here.
They just lost. Really, I won't say that any of the 3 girls that got called up are the type to really carry Raquel to a really good match. I think, I would say, just from a pure entertainment standpoint, I think Shotzi was the most likely to be able to do that. Because I think Shotzi playing the underdog and having to fight from underneath and kind of trying to have those like fiery comebacks and stuff. I think she probably would have had the best match with Raquel out of the three of the ladies that got called up tonight.
Dude, and the Candice program is kaput now. Like,
that's what I was more thinking is I feel like Candice LeRae is now directionless because Index is happening. That's like, Candice can't keep trying to corrupt that. So that's a thing. Candice was supposed to be in deep shit with Tegan. Tegan literally just returned only to attack Candice, and now she's not here anymore. And like, I even pointed out Tegan and Shotzi have trauma in common from Candice because Tegan got her knee fucked up by Candice and Shotzi got her tank fucked up by Candice. So Candice feels completely directionless now. And they literally just lost the tag titles to Io and Zoe as well. So they don't even have that going for them anymore. And I'm like 99% sure that the only reason they dropped those titles was so that Candice could do a singles program with Tegan.
Yeah, dude, they really fucked NXT here, and particularly their women's division. Because I just don't know what you do. And really, I mean, like, it's not Tegan's fault in this instance. But the poor girl can't even get revenge, right? Like, I guess you could say, I cost her the tag titles, that's enough. But, like, she tried to end your career, and that was only the beginning.
Javaris said, bruh, Tegan basically fucked over Candice and instant transmissioned over to SmackDown.
Yeah, pretty much.
She's just like, did I ruin Candice's life yet? Yeah, you did. All right, I'm out.
I think Ember will ultimately land on her feet, Javaris, because before she was a tag team competitor, she was a singles competitor, and honestly, I'm looking forward to getting back to strong style Ember, even if NXT necessarily isn't.
Dude, honestly, I'm wondering, like, a part of me is wondering if, because we got all these call-ups tonight, if maybe we're going to get some call-ups on Monday. Because they're kind of starting to treat SmackDown as, like, the first show of the week, and they're like, it's like, SmackDown will start and then Raw, because they're doing that, like, for the live shows. The first live show back is a SmackDown. The first draft episode is a SmackDown. Like, it's like SmackDown starts these things now. So maybe SmackDown started this little line of call-ups. We got 3 women tonight. Who's to say we won't get Ember and Candice both called up on Monday?
That's true, man. That's true.
Because
maybe this is
directionless feeling women right now.
Absolutely. And then but you see though how it keeps bleeding NXT in a way, because then the way gets fucked up. The way is it's just
that's
indie.
Where I was getting I'm wondering how they're gonna handle that, because I could see there's a part of me that wonders if Johnny and or Austin would get called up too, and Indy just stays in NXT to have a whole ass Index storyline.
That wouldn't be the worst thing, would it?
No, I'm looking forward to whatever's going to happen with Index personally.
I mean, dude, maybe with Dexter Lumis by her side, maybe she could even challenge for the NXT Women's Championship. I know,
just
dude.
You predicted that Karrion Kross would lose to Gargano on Tuesday and get called up to Raw on Monday, which obviously would be out of order, but it's possible.
Dude, let me just respond to that, because that is a viable option, because WWE they are thinking something right now with all these call-ups.
Bronson Reed is probably going to get called up on Monday.
Yes, yeah, that's coming. He dropped that North American Championship so fast. But Javaris, if you're right about Cross, and I wouldn't even say it's the biggest if, I could see that as entirely possible. They are going to have to protect the fuck out of him with this loss. Joe's going to have to choke him out and do a fast count. Because I think the most marketable thing about Cross is the streak. Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe when he comes up, he'll be like, I had it expunged from my record or something.
Maybe he's just another fucking never loses the title, relinquishes the title call-up.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just shows up on Raw, and then Tuesday rolls around, and Gargano's livid in Regal's office talking about, what the hell was that? This is cuckoo bananas and all that stuff. And Johnny ends up having to fight for the title anyway against someone else, maybe a Dunn or some shit like that.
Bro, thinking about all these call-ups that could happen, because again, I'm not even saying Javaris is a big if. I see that as entirely viable. I think NXT's doing the breakout tournament at the right time, because I think we really are looking at literally the next generation. And I feel like we normally talk about that with the women, but I think it's just with the roster in general.
We need a women's breakout tournament. We need Gigi Dolan and Cora Jade and all them. Dude,
we do. We need all around. We need a women's tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because dude, here's the thing. They're slowly getting rated, and I think it's gonna blow the fuck up. Because I think Reed, I could see Cross, I could see Johnny and Austin. Like, yeah, it's fucking going down, dude. NXT needs a reboot, and I think they've got the talent to do it. But like, oh man, I don't know. I don't know. I just see big things coming.
After we're done here, we should check out 205 Live from tonight, because Odyssey Jones and Josh Briggs are both in matches, I believe, on 205 tonight.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, man. I like how this turned to a, like, again, State of the Women's Division / Bailey address, and then we dovetailed to NXT, because this is going to have seismic effects, I think, because I think it's only the beginning of something much bigger. Because keep in mind, too.
The draft is in August.
The draft is in August. Man, WWE,
I shake things up again.
Dude, I only hope, however it's going to get shaken up, because you and I mean, let's be real. You and I are always honest about how we feel. We've been kind of meh on NXT lately. I hope whoever they poach, it doesn't make it like from meh to, oh my God, every segment's a skip, because we've already kind of blackballed certain people from our segments.
Oh, God. Well, if they get rid of Cross, that'll be a net positive for us.
Yes. Javaris, I really don't know with Walter anymore, because I read a long time ago he didn't want to work the States. But you know what? In the words of $1 Million Man, oddly enough, who I'm,
Everyone
enough of that on NXT.
Price.
Everyone does have a price, and whatever Walter's price is to work the States, you put him on Raw, or so you put him across from Bobby Lashley. Lashley's compelling. You put him on SmackDown. Yeah. Fuck, man. Fuck. I think things are really going to start to change around here. But that was an enlivening first segment. Do you have anything else you want to say? Because I feel like we're going to zip through the rest of the review at this rate.
I have nothing to add. Let's get into this thing. I will say I did love the opening segment tonight.
The bloodline, baby. We begin with Roman, and he more or less talks about, things that disappointed him, because he said, you all were disappointed not to see me, and I'm going to talk about the things that, disappointed me. And then Jimmy Uso's music hits. I think Roman didn't like that, Jimmy more or less failed trying to take care of business. And he said, I did it for you, Uso. I did it for the family. Like you told, you said, we're all together. Like you told me. It's all of us. And he tried to explain that, he tried to square up with Edge because that's what family does. Jey Uso is back.
Wait, Jay's not a cop, is he?
Jey is not a cop, no.
Not Jay, Edge. Edge isn't a cop, is he?
Oh, Edge. Okay, see, now I know what you're trying to do there. No, Edge isn't a cop, because I realized what I said. Good catch there. I don't know if I'm the slow one. We're both. I don't fucking know. But yeah, he's not a cop.
I actually was the one that messed up. I said Jay too.
But yeah, Jey Uso is back, and my God, was he missed. And I only say that because obviously Jimmy's going through his stuff, and I guess WWE is like, you know what, we're gonna finish the storyline first, then we'll talk. Because I really thought in kayfabe they were going to beat the crap out of Jimmy tonight. That is one thing that shocked me, guys. Again, if you subscribe to the Discord for $3 a month, I was saying over and over, Jimmy's not safe, guys. Jimmy's not safe, because I really thought the way they were teasing some stuff, some things Edge said, some things Jay said. I'm like, oh man, are they going to isolate Jimmy and then kind of justify it by like, oh, we had to teach him a lesson. He had to be the family that he's got. But no, it's a united front. Jay said he's back. Your right-hand man is back, Oos. And Jimmy, I always got you, so let's get back to doing what we do. Let's get back to work. And let's become 7-time tag team champions. And then Roman, I fucking love Roman, dude. He's such a piece of shit. He's like, that's what I've been saying. Which, no, it isn't. We can run the tape back.
Yeah,
and we can see you.
Gaslighting the shit out of them for sure.
Yeah, he's gaslighting the shit out of us, bro. Hey, we can run the tape back.
That's what I've been saying. You guys as the tag team champs, me as the universal champ for as long as I damn well please. It's
like what? No, you didn't want to share Jey Uso. You were like, Us, no, no.
You son of a bitch.
So yeah, Roman, like, why you always, like, you and Mayu, man, get a fucking room. Why you always lying? Javaris, same.
Some freaky athletic babies.
Oh my god, now I'm thinking about it and I don't want to think about it and everything's weird to make it stop. But yeah, Bloodline is unified. Ashton, you're a family man. How do you feel about this faction being solidified?
I loved this segment. This was so cool. I really just the visual at the end of the three-way hug was like, oh damn. That's a powerful ass unit right there. Which is so ironic because by the end of the show, I was convinced the Usos were going to turn on Roman.
Well, dude, you were convinced this was going to turn on Roman. I was convinced Roman and Jay were going to turn on Jimmy because of the issues he found himself in this week. Last week, excuse me. And I don't even know how I feel about them prioritizing the storyline over, like, you know, accountability and that kind of stuff. But you know what? It's whatever. It's fucking wrestling. Look how much accountability didn't exist in speaking out. I really shouldn't even be surprised. So, you know, whatever. But yeah, from a storyline perspective and focusing purely on that, you really can't not love this. Roman is the ultimate threat now, as if he wasn't before, because Roman has proven in his last few defenses he can handle his business. But now it's like, oh, but just in case I can't, though, I got my boys with me. And yeah, like, dude, when he says Reign is champion for as long as he wants, I could see him going into Mania next year as Universal Champion. This could be a long-ass fucking reign, dude, and it already has been. I'm saying even longer than what it's already been. So yeah, great segment here. Then, I just got to get ahead of this and say this now before I forget. We get a Corbin interview. Jesus fucking Christ, bro. Everybody is coming for Corbin's hairline. We did. Let the record show. TWitWoW did it before it was cool. Okay? TWitWoW did it before it was cool. And in one night, you have Pat McAfee. Like I said it in the Discord, and I know I didn't say that many messages in the Discord, so I think it'll be easy for me to pull up. But I think Pat McAfee more or less said something to the effect of his hairline is receding from his face. And of course, with us popularizing face, that's always going to make me chuckle. Like I was literally making my rice dish because I'm going to be having another late night one just because like Stardom got fucked today, as you know. So I'm making it. McAfee says that, and I just die. Yeah, he said, quote, his hairline is receding from the rest of his face. And yeah, I'm done. I'm done. And Big E, I think, had some lines that I'm like, das oof. Like, Corbin, just it's not getting any easier for you, bruh. And yeah, dude, they bodied the fucking shit out of his hairline. Now, of course, that was just Corbin's night in general. This segment in particular, he was being interviewed, and he more or less was like, I have to win. The banks are close to foreclosing on my home. You know, Baron, I have to say, and I've actually been open to whatever the fuck is going on with you. I find it hilarious that on your Twitter, up until a few weeks ago, you were the biggest possible fucking simp for capitalism, and now the moment you lose even a percentage of your wealth, you realize that capitalism does not give a fuck about you, and you're like, wait, guys, how is this happening to me? How is this happening? It's the system, Baron. Wake the fuck up. She's like that is the place where I don't have sympathy. I know you've been like since day one. I don't have sympathy. No. And I don't blame
honestly,
you.
Dude, it's I feel like it's taking me back to my days as a teenager when Ric Flair was like in the process of turning face after his whole run with Evolution, and I was firmly on the no fuck you, you're a horrible person train then too. And I feel the exact same way right now with Corbin. Like, no, you've spent the last 2 years being a horrible person, harassing people, making fun of people. You literally made Chad Gable change his name to Shorty G with your bullying. And you expect us to feel bad for you because your house of cards finally toppled over? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, like, and where I lose sympathy is like, bruh, you were laughing at all of us.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're poor? Oh, I couldn't hear you over the sound of my $10,000 timepiece. Said it just like that with that exact inflection.
I'm not even going to call him Baron Corbin anymore. My new name for him is Down Bad Corbin.
Yeah, Popper fucking Corbin over here. Here's my inflection about your struggle. I don't care. I don't care that you're poor now. Okay? Enjoy the real class struggle, bitch. So, yeah. That's my hot take on this interview.
First, I don't care. Was perfectly delivered. Holy shit.
Yeah, like, I really apologize to everyone listening. I know this isn't the content you're looking for.
Why would you apologize?
Because I really didn't say anything about
content that these people are here for.
I didn't really say anything at all about the interview. I really just spent the whole time ragging on Corbin.
If people wanted to know what happened during the interview, they would just watch the interview.
Yeah, I was just kind of ragging on Corbin the whole time. But yeah, he really wants to qualify for this. I love how he doesn't mention two in the interview just to kind of connect it there. He mentions how he won the ladder match. He doesn't even have the audacity to talk about how his cash-in went, because he's too embarrassed to say the sentence, "I failed to cash in on Jinder Mahal." I can't even say it with straight face.
And even worse, I failed to cash in on Jinder Mahal after he lost a match already in the same night.
God, bro, I'm going to be honest. I think we've all had a tough time lately with the pandemic. And, I'm kind of, some of the stuff I'm trying to get going for myself hasn't been too great for me. But I see now that everything will be okay as long as you're not Baron Corbin. And, like, holy fuck, does it feel good not to be him? And if you're like me, and I know I am, like, Jesus, like, my hairline's receding, okay? I'm not even going to cap. But at least I have the dignity to shave it and look like a human being. What the fuck is going on with that? So, like, I don't know. Baron is tilting his fucking face off, is the point here. And, yeah, that's what's happening. That's what's happening with Corbin. I guess we should get on to more relevant topics, which, again, is Nakamura versus Corbin with Big E on commentary. How do you feel about Big E and Pat McAfee chilling together? Did you enjoy that? I thought that was great.
I absolutely loved it. I love that they had their feet in those little, like, foot massager things, and the way that McAfee was dancing to Rick Boogs playing Nakamura into the ring without removing his feet from the foot massagers. That was so good. Oh, yeah. I mean, let's be real. Pat McAfee is doing everything in his power to go viral every single time he does anything when it comes to Rick Boogs, and if it hasn't worked yet, it should have.
Dude, like, I just love that McAfee fucking gets it, man.
Yes.
Like, he's like, you know what? I'm the color commentator, because Cole is going to do the promotional stuff and do the play-by-play, when he can, because I know, again, I even gave Cole credit recently.
How fucking incredible would it be if Bayley came back to be on commentary and that was our three-person booth?
It'd be perfection. It'd be fucking perfection.
It really, really would be, because McAfee is more neutral. He's not like a full-blown heel commentator. Obviously, he loves Nakamura and Rick Boogs, and they're the faces in this. Well, hopefully they stay the faces in this. We'll see. But, like, he doesn't only get behind heels. Bayley would. Bayley would be our first ever full-blown heel female commentator in WWE, and that would be legendary.
It really would be. It really would be. And, like, all due respect to Beth Phoenix, because I have said how I think she's improved, and I actually do like her dynamic with Barrett and her, and Renee before Beth, because I think Bayley would be the third one to really give it a go.
Renee started pushing the boundaries and maybe entering a little bit of a gray area at some points on her commentary, like, really legitimately, like, being like, oh, that's not okay for baby faces, or justifying heel stuff, but she never went full-blown heel commentator, and Bayley would commit.
Yeah, and that's the thing I was going to say about Bayley, with due respect to both Beth and Renee, because it's tough to do a job like that for many reasons. Yeah. But I think Bayley would be the first heel one, and she would just be legitimately good at it. Like, that's the thing. I think she'd kill it. I think she's got the perfect personality for it. Because here's the thing.
And dude, if they're already in a booth with Cole, it'd be perfect.
And here's the thing, dude. I think it should happen, because with them very clearly saying that she's still a heel, then in my mind, you shouldn't keep her off TV.
Yeah.
If they were going to make her go babyface, you make her go dark, right? Because then you get the surprise pop. If she's staying a heel, you need to get her in a wheelchair. You need to get her on crutches, when she's able to, like,
basically
apply pressure to it.
With Miz.
Exactly. Because if she's on...
continue annoying everyone every week.
Exactly, because if she's a heel and she did that video package, she needs to take care of her issues, come back as soon as possible in a non-wrestling role so she's not forgotten about. Because here's the thing, it's not like we're going to forget about her, but we'll still give her that huge pop, and you very clearly want her to be a heel. So get her behind the desk. I think that's a brilliant idea. I love it.
That's a perfect three-person booth for SmackDown. I love that so much. Like, we've been talking about how like WWE's commentary situation is a little up in the air right now, and like trying to figure out like almost like fantasy booths to try and mix and match who's going to be play by play, who's going to be the face color, who's going to be the heel color, that kind of stuff. I swear to God, dude, Cole, McAfee, Bailey, holy shit! Because the thing is, if anyone can basically carry two completely inexperienced commentators, it is an absolute consummate pro like Michael Cole. Like, this is the dude that you want leading a team full of rookies for sure.
Yes. Because that's the thing. I gave Cole credit a few weeks ago on Twitter. I really think Vince is a lot of the problem with Cole's commentary, because I don't think he's meant to plug 500 different things or do this and that. I think he's a very solid play-by-play guy. When you get him in there in the booth with like a Nigel or even a Daniel Bryan or whatever.
McAfee and Cole have been great.
And McAfee and Cole have been great. And really, I think 2 hours is better for Cole than 3 on Raw, when Raw is less about the wrestling and more about the characters and the promoting and the fucking, PR and just all that stuff. SmackDown being a bit more muted in that regard, I think gives Cole more range. And we've been able to see that here with McAfee. So I really do think that's an ideal booth. But regardless, we get Nakamura versus Corbin. I mean, Corbin's a loser. What else do we expect? Nakamura advances.
I will not stop making fun of Corbin. I won't. I don't care how sad he looks and how much the WWE is trying to get me to pity him. I am not going to sympathize with this motherfucker. Not after all the shit he's done over the course of the last year or two.
And here's the thing, dude. Like, really, I'm glad you keep saying about Corbin, because you're 100% right to do so. For me, I've become that way with any heel turn babyface, because now that you've had KO openly acknowledge, like, oh yeah, changing alignment doesn't absolve me, does it? Yeah. I'm not going to settle for anything less with any other. Like, Kevin Owens was a paradigm shift to me.
Yeah.
If you do not have a...
Yeah. He changed the way that things work.
Exactly. And even he, like, they did it a little bit when he was tagging with Big E recently, and I like that. And now that I guess he's done his job so well that people are speculating, like, oh, the way that he beat Sammy in that last man standing match, it seemed like Kevin did tap into that darkness. Is he going back to it? But whatever they do with Kevin, just the idea that he tried to have a narrative thread where it's like, yeah, I'm a babyface and this is about redemption for me because I've put a lot of harm out into the world and I want to make right on it and I want to change. Like, yeah, every heel that makes the turn should want to do that. Yep. That should be the primary catalyst for becoming a babyface.
I mean, really,
and if you're
at this point, if a heel turns face and they don't want to make amends for everything they did as a heel, as far as I'm concerned, they're still a heel.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, that to me now is the rule. If you're a babyface going heel, it's because of greed and a lust for power and accomplishment that maybe you're not getting as a face. Or bitterness. But if you're a heel going face, it's because you're getting those pangs of conscience and you want to make things right.
Yeah.
And, like, that's it.
The only real exception is, like, the badass that goes from fighting faces to fighting heels. Like, he doesn't really change his character at all. He just changes his target,
Yeah, like, I completely agree with you there, because we don't want to get into, like, schmaltzy, almost conservative territory where it's like, oh, look at these immutable ideals that they hold up to. We already have Superman for that. So I don't mind babyfaces that play in the gray, but always come by it honestly even then. Just own what you're about. So yeah, until Corbin's like, you know what? Until he has that moment of empathy on SmackDown where he's like, man, is this really how I made other people feel? And then maybe he helps the people that he bullied win matches, or he tags them and he's a dependable partner or something like that. I'm going to laugh at him because he's a fucking class traitor. And now that he knows the other side of things, oh, I guess your $10,000 timepiece couldn't tell you that your time was fucking up. And you're just not going to forgive him because he's an asshole. And I will say, though, on an in-ring standpoint, I think him and Nakamura work well enough together. It was a solid final sequence, but Nakamura does win the match, and he qualifies. So good for him. After that, we get Jimmy and Jay backstage. They're more or less just talking about, how great it is that Jay is back, how great it is that they are back as a team, and that they're looking, they heard what Edge has been, Edge's interview doesn't come later, I'm sorry. But they know that Edge is in the building. They know that they want to take care of him tonight. So that's going to happen. Then we get the Tamina and Natalya matchup versus Tegan and Shotzi. Tamina and Natalya have a promo in the beginning. It's a bit clunky, but they more or less talk about how this mysterious team wanted to step up and face them. And then, it's Tegan and Shotzi. They win. Let me ask you something, bro, because we know the women's tag titles aren't, like, highly prestigious, and I feel like Tamina and Natalya have held it for a decent time already. Could we potentially be looking at new champions for a ratings bump in Tegan and Shotzi, you think, or do you think they're going to lose in the rematch?
I think it's possible, just because Tamina and Natalya haven't really done anything, and the whole point of having them win the titles was to get that Tamina championship and like the big pop for her winning it and everything. I can see it happening. I will say, I think that title match is actually going to happen on Money in the Bank. I think that'll be announced next Friday while they're live, just because we are no longer getting the Bianca Bayley match on Money in the Bank. We're getting it next Friday. So since they moved that off of the Money in the Bank card, I think that slot will be taken up by instead a tag title match.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. And it's funny you mention again Bayley and that whole dynamic changing, because when we get to the Sonya Deville segment, I just have something I kind of want to say about that.
Okay.
When we get the Edge interview, he talks about Roman reuniting with Dumb and Dumber and all of them kind of being a family. He wonders if Roman will have the jewels, confront him by himself, because Edge has every intention of calling Roman out. So Edge has laid his plan out. I want to confront Roman, and I want to, face him down. And I have a feeling that this family reunion is going to be a happy one. That isn't a prediction. That's a spoiler. That, again, sent me into panic mode for Jimmy.
I love it, though, when intelligently written characters give their plan away to the villain, only for it to later be the reveal that was only part of their plan.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, I'm loving this energy from Edge. Like, I am so ready for this match now. I was not ready for it at Mania. I violently rejected it. We already talked about extensively why that is. This Edge, though, against this Roman, I'm salivating for it, honestly. This is really good shit. So Sonya Deville announces Bayley's replacement. We already know Carmella. It's taking place next week, not Money in the Bank. Here's the thing, though. Liv comes out. She's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is very clearly favoritism. She actually backs Sonya up into a corner. And then Sonya's like, enough. If you would let me finish, I was going to announce Carmella's replacement because she's no longer in the Money in the Bank match. Again, upgrade. And as we mentioned at the start of the show, it is Liv. Now, I wonder if this match hadn't been changed, if Bayley hadn't gotten injured, if they still would have teased Liv getting in the match, because they've really been milking it on social media and elsewhere. Like, Liv appeared on the bump.
I think knowing that she's in it, the thing is, I think absolutely. Because from what I understand, we still only have 2 women from SmackDown in the Money in the Bank ladder match, right?
We should, man, because it's Liv, it's Zelina.
And that's it.
And Carmella's out, because Carmella's getting the title shot, so yeah.
Yeah, so the thing is, I think I thought Shotzi was going to be the 3rd one, and then Sasha would be the 4th one, but now I really don't know. Maybe Tony will be in it. I don't know. It said coming soon. You would expect it to be like next week, if it was going to be next week, if she was going to come out next week, but yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm still 100% convinced Sasha is going to be in it. Whether she wins it or not is another discussion that we'll have not tomorrow, but the following Saturday. But yeah, man, I'm very, very curious who that other slot is going to go to. I swear to you, I really I had myself fully convinced that it was going to end up being Shotzi and Sasha as the last 2, but now I'm starting to think that Shotzi will be in a tag title match at Money in the Bank, which means that there's going to be a slot open, and I have no clue. Maybe they rehire Ruby for all I know.
Maybe. Oh, God, wouldn't that be something? Jesus.
Javaris thinks Mia Yim is going to be in it, or Reckoning, if they still call her that. I don't know. They've kept the Mace and T-Bar names, so maybe they'll keep the Reckoning name, too.
Javaris, my heart breaks for you, bro, because I know how much you love both Mia and Keith. I just want them to say something just to put your mind at ease, because, I want to know what's going on with them, too, but I don't know, because SummerSlam's around the corner. I'd like them both to be on it. But we'll have to see, man, because I genuinely don't know. Maybe Mia would be in it. I only said Tony because, again, we did get the vignette, but admittedly it was coming soon and it was SmackDown, so you think they'd want to run an episode of SmackDown TV. Yeah. But, again, I do think if Tony is in it, you have to consider her a favorite, even with Sasha in the mix, who I think is the ultimate favorite, but I digress. So yeah, that was that segment. Not even really, because Bianca did cut a promo, just talking about how she's gonna beat Carmella, and she wasn't sure if Bayley even faked her injury, because Bayley, of course, had the video package saying, I trained so hard for all of you guys, you don't even care. Well, I don't care about you, kind of thing. So again, maintaining the heeldom. And Bianca even floated the idea that Bayley might be faking her injury, which I guess is a funny way to protect Bayley's heat, but whatever. And yeah, that was that segment. We get Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman more or less relays to Roman what Edge said. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, my tribal chief. He said you have no jewels." Roman kind of, just
I love
grimaced
the
at
first
that.
line, though. He was like, "I'm so sorry, my tribal chief. We questioned your manhood."
Yes. I love the deference that Paul shows to Roman Reigns. It's such a different dynamic with Brock.
Yeah.
Then, we get the Toni Storm vignette, which was very babyface in character to me. So again, she's going to get the rocket to the moon because they look at her as a top face, I think. Maybe even more than Bianca, which kind of scares me because I have no problem with Toni, but I'm just going to be that guy. I think it's bad optics when you have a really amazing babyface that is a proud black woman and is all about that hashtag black excellence that, we're really seeing with Simone Biles and other people. And then Toni Storm, who, again, to me, just based on the vignette, seemingly is positioned as a babyface, leapfrogs her as the traditional, white blonde woman. I just think it's bad optics if that happens. I don't know, though. We'll have to see what WWE decides. Then we get one of my favorite in their series of matches, because I ended up really liking this, particularly how they made Cesaro look. Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. I will say, though, I feel like I've been going a mile a minute, just because I figured this review wouldn't be that long because we had such an excellent opening segment. What did you think about this match, man? I want to get your thoughts on this first.
Cesaro Seth?
Yes.
Oh, really, really good match. I think maybe I'm going too far when I say that this is the best match that they've had in this series, but it feels like it was up there. Really, really good. I love the moment when the turnbuckle pad gets pulled off and the ref is just standing there in disbelief while Cesaro has Seth pinned, and it's like that very well could have cost Cesaro the match because he could have had Seth beat there. And then the turnbuckle would come back into play with Cesaro getting actually busted open, which I was even asking in chat, I wonder if he got busted open hard way or if this is the return of blading. It blew my mind. I was like, what the hell's going on right now? And then the thing is, if the WWE was ever going to decide to bring back blading, now's the time to do it because they're getting back to live crowds. Business is about to pick up. They are desperate for ratings, and fucking AEW has been doing it for a year and a half, and they haven't had any kind of health commission coming after them or anything. So if you're going to do it, I would not be surprised one bit if tonight was the first hint that WWE is bringing back the blading. I would not be surprised at all. But it could have just been hard way, and I'm reading too much into it too. Because Cesaro's a tough son of a bitch, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if that happened. I mean, after all, we've literally seen him get his two top teeth jammed into his gums, and he finished the match. He's insane. But yeah, Cesaro's performance here was so babyface and so that fire, that will to win. I loved it. I loved that he kept getting thrown out of the ring by Seth and the DDT onto the ramp, and then he manages to just barely beat the 10 count, only to get into another tussle with Seth and end up getting curb stomped and losing. So I feel like this was the best possible way that they could have Seth win without making Cesaro look weak. Cesaro looked strong as hell here.
I'm going to apologize to you because you said everything pretty much perfectly, but because I want to give my thoughts, you're probably going to hear a lot of repeats. First of all, I am so happy that you gave this match the praise that you did, because when I was mentally ranking their matches, I don't even really want to rank the match where Jimmy Uso super kicked Seth on that one Smackdown. So I just look at it as the three: WrestleMania, Hell in a Cell, and then this. Hell in a Cell was their weakest match to me. I really didn't care for that one for some reason. It might have just been an off night for me, maybe an off night for those guys, maybe an off night for everybody. I don't know. WrestleMania, was great for Cesaro, excuse me. He got to do the UFO. That might always be number one just for that one moment alone, but this, dude. You know, you and I have been talking about like how wrestling, we almost, I don't know if we're feeling like those grumpy old people now or whatever, because we know how shit the culture is. We know how mundane a lot of the shit is. And it's just not what it used to be. Now Stardom obviously is our favorite promotion. They've got the energy, the heart, the passion, and they've just been killing it. And the cards they have coming up are insane, and the 5-star is insane. Seriously, guys, if you haven't subscribed to Stardom World, you really should. Business is about to pick up in a major way, but I digress.
Honestly, like, if you haven't been subscribed so far and you don't want to subscribe now to try and catch up, which realistically now's a great time to try and catch up, subscribe on August 1st because you will get to see the entire first month of the 5-star Grand Prix. And if you haven't made up your mind as to whether you want to be a Stardom fan or not by the end of that, I don't know what to tell you.
He said it best. So why do I bring all that up? Because, see, when I was a kid, and I discovered the magic of pro wrestling, which literally changed my life because I've, a lot of you guys have been diehard TWitWoW listeners. So you know that every now and again we let the wall down and we let you guys know more about us personally. Did not have an easy upbringing. Wrestling was really like a life raft to me. And as a kid, like any other kid, you get worked as you're supposed to get worked. Every face you cheer for, every heel you boo. I loved early 2000s Shawn Michaels. And like the one performance of Shawn I always come back to when I think about baby faces that really tug at my heartstrings was when he was fighting for Austin's job at the 2003 Survivor Series. It was like him against, I want to say, 3 or 4 guys. He did the blading, and you know how Shawn could bleed sometimes. He's bleeding like over half of his face.
Oh, yeah.
He's like hanging on the ropes, but he gets the sudden sweet chin music, or he gets the cradle, and it's like, oh man, it's one-on-one. Can Shawn do it? Gets powerbombed by Batista, and, it is what it is. He loses, blah, blah, blah. But it's just a great moment for him, just as a babyface. I got that exact energy from Cesaro tonight. Because here's the thing, dude. With the initial turnbuckle spot, I thought, gonna lose on the roll-up, fine, whatever, protect Cesaro, I guess. What they did was so much better. Because it's another thing to protect a guy. It's another thing to say about that guy, and in a way, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to cover all my bases, and I will say it's a shame that it's Cesaro, because we've seen historically that they just never push Cesaro. But they really went out of their way to say about Cesaro, of all fucking people, Seth Rollins, who they talk about his accolades every week, thank whatever God you believe in that this man wasn't 100% because you had no chance if he was. Because that's what this told me.
Yep.
The fight that Cesaro still put up told me that if all things being equal, Seth was not winning this match, like outright. And that's normally what you're supposed to say with the babyface, but they really went out of their way in a good way to say, I mean, dude, when he gets DDT'd on the ramp, and like I just have to go on about this, because again, like I said, guys, Ashton already said it perfectly, but I just had to give my own John spin on it. He gets DDT'd on the ramp. He actually sells it so well, his fingers are twitching. Like he's twitching and convulsing a little bit in his arm and in his hand. And it's like, oh my God. Like, not only has Seth fucked him up, and by that point, dude, the blood has gone from a trickle to, like, his whole, like, forehead is spiderweb, like, caked in crimson, right? And his fingers are twitching, and his arm looks like it's gone fucking numb, and it's like, holy fucking shit. Not only have you busted this dude open, you're fucking with his nervous system. Like, is he just gonna collapse on us? And he beats the count again.
Yup.
And not only does he beat the count, he dodges the initial stomp. Like, look, I'm just going to be real with you all. They worked me so fucking hard with this because I really did believe. Because I knew at one point, dude, you were like, Seth's winning this. And ultimately, the arc of the universe bent towards one idea. Ashton's right most of the time compared to you and I on our wrestling opinions. But they did so many great false finishes. I thought, well, maybe not. Like, maybe Cesaro will catch him for just those 3 seconds and persevere. They did this so fucking well, and honestly, the finish was brilliant too, because Cesaro gets an uppercut, and again, if he was healthy, I think he could have hit a neutralizer out of it, because Seth looked out of it, but he's able, it's a photo finish, he's able to recover first, and because of the blood loss and the equilibrium being absolutely fucked, Cesaro is just down in probably the most believable curb stomp in recent memory, and he gets the win. This was a brilliantly structured match, and just based on the structure and the building of dramatic tension, this may very well have been their best match, dude. And honestly, I know you and I have never been fans of color that often, mainly because it's definitely a crutch. This wasn't a crutch here. This felt like a genuine narrative element that had its potential maximized. I love this. I cannot say enough good things about this match. And the only negative thing, just to bring us all back down to earth, and I say this with all the love in the world, it's Cesaro. And that's not the problem. That's WWE's problem. And there is a distinct difference there. They do not push this guy. I don't think he's ever going to be world champion. And I've just got to be the one to pull the knife out. But after a performance like this, I understand why Foster said it would be cool if he won the Rumble. I could understand how people would think it would be cool if he qualified for a chamber and he won it. Because after a performance like that, he's always the guy that you want to see get his due, but he's always going to come that close. And that's heart-wrenching, but that's pro wrestling at its finest.
Dude,
this was great.
What I really want to see after this match? This match made me want to see a last man standing match between these two so bad.
Dude, that would fucking own. Like, I know it's not going to happen, dude, but if I could just do fantasy conjecture for like 2 seconds, if Seth actually would win the fucking title, the best pay-per-view defense guaranteed that he would have in his title reign would be a last man standing match against Cesaro for the title. No match would touch that to me. This proved it. They killed it. This was awesome. I have nothing but positive things to say about this. I am so proud of Cesaro and the run that he has had the last couple months. And again, it's a shame because I know what a lot of his fans, myself included, want from that run. I think the best we could hope for is an IC championship reign. But to me, regardless of what happens, Cesaro proved that he could have at the very least been a one-time world champion for a couple of months. He absolutely could have been that champion, and he could have been that babyface champion. And let me tell you something, the crowd that comes back next week, y'all got kind of gypped, because I'm not saying you're not going to get great matches next week, but they would have been so hot for Cesaro here, dude. They would have gotten worked so fucking hard, and they blew it. WWE blew it. I think I would have held this off for just another week. And I know Roman's the talk of the town. You know what? I wouldn't have had this main event only because Seth won. If Cesaro would have won, you definitely should have had this main event. But yeah, this was fantastic. And you would have had to
fit a swing in there too, for sure.
Yeah, and actually, no, he did. I actually have to correct you there. He did, because they had a commercial break in this match, and the first thing you saw when they came back from the break was Seth being in the swing.
Oh, I missed that. Damn.
Yeah, see, dude, like, I'm just so glad that you and I felt positive about this match, because I know it happens sometimes that even when you get two workers, sometimes I'm really high on a match, and you're just like, it was good, but I don't know if I liked it as much as you. Or, like, maybe even you will be like, I don't know, I'm starting to come around on this guy, and I'm like, I'm not really feeling it. But here, I think you and I just both see that these guys, I think, really did something special with the elements that they had. And I know, again, Cesaro's never going to be that guy, but I think this program with Seth proved that he could be. He really could be, even if only for a couple months, if they would just take the chance on him. And just great match. So, awesome stuff. I think I've said everything I want to say about it again. Ashton already said it all perfectly. Anyway, after that, we get Jimmy and Jay backstage again, this time by Edge's locker room. Jimmy, of course, still learning the lay of the land. And I have to wonder when Jay's going to lose patience with him. He just wants to jump Edge right away. He's like, come on, Uso, let's get it. It's like, bruh, no. Simmer down. Relax. He comes out. Then we get him. Comes back from commercial break. And I guess that commercial break was enough for Jimmy to have a think on it. And he's like, you know what? No. I'm barging in right now. We're fucking doing it. Edge isn't there. So that's whatever for them, I guess. They are definitely a bit perturbed by Edge's absence. So we're going to have to see how that resolves later in the show. Then we get a Seth Rollins interview. He actually finally gives Cesaro props. He says he's a great competitor. He's an excellent competitor, but he's just not on my level. He actually hugs Kayla. And he says he's going to win the Money in the Bank and it's going to be great. All this other stuff. Then Edge comes into view. And he says, that's the difference.
This. I marked out for this, even in the
Actually, you probably remember this a little bit better than I do, because I know I only talk about fragments. Since you love this, why don't you walk us through this, how Edge taunted Seth Rollins?
Oh, yeah. He walks up to Seth, and he was just like, I heard this annoying, whiny sound, and I followed it, and I found it. You really haven't changed since 2014, have you? Yeah, that's right. I haven't forgotten. Ah! Oh, that warmed my heart so much, John. I was like, oh, they're still doing the thing.
Continuity is beautiful. Continuity is fucking beautiful.
I know. And then Edge is like, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go out there and do something that you would have never thought to do. I'm going to call Roman out.
And then he leaves him, and then Seth's like, ruining my party. Fuck you. And then we get a John Goodman video package. It's Otis. It's Otis. It's Majin Otis, aka John Goodman, in his best role to date. And it's just him destroying people. Then we get the Alpha Academy promo. And dude, I think you and I both love this, because you even directed my attention in all caps in the Discord. You're like, he said it, John. He said Otis Roman, because he mentioned all these guys, whether it's Edge, whether it's Roman, like, they just can't stand up to my Otis, to the Alpha Academy. Dude, I love
Otis?
that.
What?
Well, yeah, doesn't he say, like, my prized pupil and stuff like that?
You gotta realize, oh my god, I know we have other Digimon fans in the chat, and when you said my Otis, I'm thinking, like, wait, where's the crazy bat Digimon, my Otismon? It's like, oh my god. I'm sorry, continue. I feel like I've been way too disruptive. Go ahead.
No, dude, you're fine. We're having fun. I'm having a great time. You're having a great time. We're all having a great time.
My Otis. Oh my god.
Dude, you know what I loved about this? Just being completely serious with you for a second. I'm wondering if you'll agree with me or not. I love, and I wish they would do more of this, but I understand why it's not, because it's probably against, like, locker room culture, and you don't want to, like, make waves. I love when undercard people have the confidence in a promo to get their character over enough to be like, yeah, Roman Reigns couldn't stand up to us. Because, like, here's the thing. Roman Reigns is made of Teflon. If Roman Reigns can't handle, and I'm not saying he can't, I'm just using this as, like, the paradigm example. If Roman Reigns can't handle a Chad Gable and an Otis calling him out, he shouldn't be the guy. Like, Roman should hear that and he should laugh. It should be his reaction. But I love, for Chad and Otis's credibility, they will name drop main event performers and say that we can take them. I want more of that, actually. I want more of that, because how else are you going to sell me? Because if you're talking about how you're better than all these people, well, I'm always going to be the dick and want to go beyond the bounds a little bit and be like, well, yeah, but are you better than this guy? And I love that they answer it for you before you can even have it come out of your smart-ass mouth and be like, oh, yeah, and before you say anything, we're better than Edge. We could put Edge on the shelf again. And honestly, with the way Otis has been booked, I believe it. If you did an Edge-Otis match, I would be legitimately scared for Edge as a character, because I feel like Otis would get him written off television for a couple months. And I love that, dude. I love that they flexed. This is kind of an underrated segment for me, because Alpha Academy, it would have been so easy for them to keep their focus on the Street Profits and just the tag team division, which in my mind, and I'm going to be honest, like, I love the Usos, but I really feel like Alpha Academy should be our tag team champions right now. And I feel like, Usos are going to leapfrog them and it's whatever. But I love that in response to that, they're like, it's okay. We're like the best thing going. I love this. What did you think about it, man?
Just the Alpha Academy thing with the Gable?
Yeah. Just the promo. If you have anything you want to add.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was really good. I'm a big fan of Gable on the mic. I love that he ran down literally every champion. He mentioned Big E. He mentioned Roman. Like, he didn't skip a beat. I loved that. But, man, it was good.
Speaking of champions, because you mentioned champions, remember, Apollo, not Big E, is the Intercontinental Champion, but we didn't get Apollo on the show tonight.
Again, I forgot about Apollo. I keep thinking Big E is still IC champ. I feel like this is the second or third week in a row I've done this. I'm so sorry.
Bro, I can't really blame you when, at least in regards to tonight, the show forgot about Apollo as well. Like, he did not get booked on this show. That genuinely surprised me a little bit. So, kind of filing that one away for later, we get our Edge Roman segment, and bro, what did you think about this? Because again, I've been loving Edge and Roman, but I want your take before I give my own on this.
On the final segment of the night?
Yes.
Well, I'm not a fan of the Mysterios, but Edge obviously has a long-standing connection with Rey. They were literally tag team champions on SmackDown back in the early 2000s. So they've got a damn near 20-year relationship, if not longer, because they could have been friends before they became a tag team. that Edge was able to call upon by getting Ray to come out and help him neutralize the Usos. So really, really cool moment there when it was, dude, I tell you what, when Roman was standing there and the Usos came out and Roman was like, what the hell did I tell y'all? What are you doing? I want to do this by myself. And then he turned around and he was facing Edge. I was convinced the Usos were going to attack him. I was like, oh my God, Edge is going to be champion because the Usos aren't going to be in Roman's corner. They're going to turn on him here. But no, he gets up on the apron, he gets in the ring, and then as the Usos are about to get into the ring, Mysterio's music hits. And they're looking at the ramp, and the Mysterios come in with chairs through the ring, crack them over the backs of the Usos, beat them down, and eventually one of the Usos makes their way over to Edge and grabs him by the foot before he can deliver a spear. The other Uso comes in, hits a super kick, but that's their last stand because then Edge and the Mysterios do end up getting the upper hand because Roman bails on them. Roman just straight up leaves the ring, runs away up to the top of the ramp, and we get a 3-on-2 with Edge and the Mysterios taking out the Usos using that bar that they get from chairs as, you know, Edge's STF enhancer.
Yes. Yes. You know, dude, you talking about how you felt like the Usos were going to ditch Roman? Maybe they should. Because, like...
No, I didn't think they were just going to ditch Roman. I thought they were going to attack Roman and then ditch him.
Yeah. But even if they don't do the attack part, I reiterate, maybe they should. Because, like, he really left him there to die. Like, it'd be one thing if just in the heat of the moment you left and you ran all the way to the back. He watched it happen.
Yeah.
Like, he really, his gaze lingered on it. He watched it happen.
Well, he just went to the top of the ramp and watched as they got tortured. And he was just like, oh, man, I wish I had it in my body to come help y'all, but I can't do it. You're on your own. I'm sorry.
And you know...
You know what that reminds me of?
What's that?
Fucking the math teacher in Rick and Morty, and literally episode 1 of Rick and Morty when Morty has the fantasy about Jessica and he starts grabbing at her boobs, and then we come back to reality and the teacher is just standing there and Morty's just groping his chest and he's just like, Morty, you need to stop it. Nothing I can do about this. That's exactly what the was giving up. He was like, Edge, you better not do it. There's nothing I can do about this. I'm not going to be able to stop you. That's the total energy he had. It was hilarious.
Yeah, dude. Like, I just couldn't get over that he was really just watching it. He was like, man,
he was.
Glad that's not me.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's the vibe.
Oh, dude. Like, 'cause I almost feel like, now again, I'm not judging Smackdown because I feel like they've handled this main event storyline really well. So I'm not making presumptions or anything like that. I'm just saying, getting ahead of it, I think it'd be really ridiculous to not have the Usos address this next week. To not play the footage back and be like, why weren't you there for us, Us? And I fully expect Roman to, like, and Gaslight wouldn't be appropriately used here, but just to, you know, pull up my dad and just rationalize his behavior with mental gymnastics and be like, well, guys, I told you to stay in the back.
True.
And if you squint and you look at it from a 45-degree angle, you'll see that this was all your fault. I'm like, I fully expect that to happen.
See the Big
I
Dipper.
fully expect. Exactly. God, Scott Steiner versus Roman. I'm not viscerally opposed. In fact, I'm intrigued.
I'm somewhat for.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, Edge is in Roman's head. He's got the Mysterios helping. Although I will say, funniest moment of this segment was very early on. And Ray and Dominic get the jump with the steel chairs. But what is the moment where the Usos retake back control? A super kick to Dominic. You literally have the element of surprise with chairs. And Dominic still fucks it up. This kid is amazing, honestly. Yes. Oh, my God. All right. That was Smackdown. I had a lot of fun with this review. I know our TWitWoW isn't over because we still have one more segment. High spots and low shots. God. Genuine low shot. Bailey, I know it's a rough time. We here at TWitWoW wish her the best and the speediest recovery. Love you so much. But I have to keep it in the confines of the show's universe, so low shot's Corbin. Literally, that should be his gimmick. Low shot Corbin, because it just
down
he keeps sinking lower. Down bad Corbin. Exactly.
Down so bad he's making eye contact with Adam Cole.
Come on, man. What are you doing? What are you doing, man? Who's your low shot?
I mean, just for that line alone, I should make it Adam Cole, right?
This isn't even his show. It should have been like 3 years ago. He doesn't even go here, which he should have started doing like 3 years ago. Yes. Behave yourself. Who's your low shot?
I have literal tears in my eyes from laughing at my own stupidity.
I don't know why the way you said stupidity took me out. I'm done.
Compose myself. My low shot tonight is going to be, just to keep it as simple as possible, I guess I'm going to go with the Usos, because they thought they had a plan. They thought they were going to help Roman. They even disobeyed Roman, and they ended up getting tortured by Edge and the Mysterios. So, and not only that, but they never had any beef with the Mysterios. They got roped into that shit because of Roman. They had a horrible night.
They did. They really, really did. So my spot, God.
I want you to know you had a little bit of a cutout when you were saying that, and it sounded a lot like you said my ass bot.
It's almost fully programmed from mouth to anus. So that was disturbing. God, I need help. My high spot.
Thank you.
Who do I want to go with here? Because I have an idea, but I don't really want to.
Do you want me to go first?
No, I do. I do. I guess my high spot will be, fuck it. You know what? My high spot will just be Edge. That's simple, and I've been liking Edge a lot lately. He killed it again. He's definitely in Roman's head. He is living there rent-free. And he's got the momentum for Money in the Bank. Do not be surprised, guys, if the main event of next week, if it isn't the Fatal 4-Way that was already announced, is a 6-man tag, Edge and the Mysterios versus the Bloodline. I fully expect that to happen next week. And hopefully the Usos just leave Roman and he tries to go for a tag, but I doubt it. So yeah, Edge is going to be my high spot. What about you, bro?
I think an honorary high spot should go out to every woman that was on this show. Every woman in-ring competitor, not counting Sonya here. Although we can include her because she kind of got to do like a power trip like Stephanie McMahon style. So yeah, high spot, honorary high spot to every woman on this show under the age of 39 years old. Because Natalya and Tamina are both 39 and up, and they lost. But every other woman had a great night because Shotzi and Tegan won in their debut match. Liv got a spot in Money in the Bank. Carmella got upgraded from a shot at a shot to a straight up shot. And yeah, like I said, Sonya had like her little power trip that she got to do with Liv. So yeah, every woman that was on this show that was under the age of 39 had a great night. That's just honorary though. Actual high spot has to go to Seth Rollins, the next Mr. Money in the Bank. And I'm not going to lock that in right now, but after tonight, it really feels like that's going to happen.
We'll see, man. I gotta tell you, man.
He's in the match.
Oh, wait, say that one more time?
I said, but at the very least, he's in the match.
That is true. No, your high spot's 100% valid. What I was gonna say, though, in response to the rest of your statement, I don't know if I've ever been this excited, or at least I haven't been this excited in a long time for a preview and predictions, dude. Like, I'm gonna have so much fun talking about this card with you, especially the ladder matches, because I think that's always the ticket on Money in the Bank is just obviously the ladder matches. So I am really stoked for the 17th for preview predictions. I hope you guys are all there because I think it's going to be some riveting discussions. Because I have some ideas about the men's.
Winning too. It's unbelievable. This dude has literally had a great theme song every single moment of his WWE career. Like even in like FCW and NXT, he had a really cool theme song that he like did like fucking mosh pit moves to. And you know that crazy like that song. And then he goes to the main roster, immediately gets put with the Shield. Shield theme music's amazing. They kept it for Roman, for fuck's sakes. Then he gets fucking Burn It Down. Then he has different variations of that. Then he gets the orchestral Savior music. And now he's got a fucking like Megadeth Walk sample in his music. Like how does he keep getting amazing theme songs every single time he gets a new one? His new theme is legitimately in contendership for theme of the year, in my opinion.
Dude, I agree. Seth has got some of the best packaging in the company, honestly. And I can't say he doesn't back it up with his in-ring, because, you know, that'd be a bit much even for me. Yeah. But yeah, I think your high spot's totally valid. I'm just so excited for Premium Predictions, dude. I'm so excited for the show. Even with what happened with Bayley, because I was really hyped for that I Quit match. I think they recovered as best they could. And I'm still hyped for the ladder matches, dude. That men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Holy fucking shit, dude.
So, just to recap, we've got John Morrison, Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, for fuck's sakes. Who am I forgetting on Raw?
Riddle? Did you say Riddle?
I forgot Riddle. Riddle's the fourth one. And then we've got Seth Rollins, Shinsuke Nakamura, Kevin Owens, and Big E. That is one hell of a field. Like, Raw is seriously pulling their weight, and SmackDown showed up in the way that we expected them to. This is an insane field for Money in the Bank, and I'm excited, just like you are, 8 days from now when we do our preview and predictions for it.
It's going to be fucking hype. So, guys, I hope to see every one of you there when that happens. Obviously, we have several recordings before then, but I'm just saying in the context of Money in the Bank, really want all of us to have a great time. Yes, we have Peacock, and it's going to be so beautiful, and I just get to be a fan. We get to lose our shit, and I can't fucking wait. So, yeah, guys, this has been Smackdown. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my coordinator commentary Ashton. Guys, be sure to leave a like as you file out. The more likes you leave, the more likely we are to the top search result for Smackdown reviews on YouTube. And when you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong. So please leave that like. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon for notifications so you never again miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. And check out everything we're involved in the description box. Obviously, I've plugged the Patreon. We've got quite a few Patreon requests this month. We already did, this past Monday, Backlash 2004 live reactions for Mark Schoeneman. This Saturday at 8, we're doing a 12 request live for Javaris, two Kobashi matches. Oh, tomorrow night, excuse me. Yeah, I forgot. Oh my God, Saturday's tomorrow. Tomorrow night at 8, apologies, 2 Kobashi matches for Javaris. And then the 19th, I want to say, day after Money in the Bank, we're going to be doing 5 various matches for DBK. So it's been a very popular month for 12-hour requests. If you want to know how to get your own 12-hour requests, please look at the TWitWoW Patreon and see how we break everything down. Beyond that, we also have Q&A offerings, additional Q&A questions for just $1. Q&A is July 29th. Non-Patreon donors only get 3 Q&A questions, but if you donate $1, you get 2 additional questions for a total of 5 questions. I've already plugged the Discord. That's $3 a month. A great community. I've been far more interactive with it lately, and it's been a lot of fun. I've been talking with Chiefin about NXT UK. I've been talking with Javaris about Rick and Morty. God, Planetina and Morty. That episode fucked me up. I'm talking about music, politics. There's a channel for everything in our Discord, and we do Among Us Mondays. Pretty sure down the road, I couldn't say when, but we'll probably diversify with more games. I'm sure everybody would kind of like that, but Among Us is like our go-to. It's what we do as a group. It was a lot of fun last Monday. You're going to want to get in on it because I think they're getting ready. What did they say, Ashton, with the next update? They're getting ready for like 15-person parties soon enough with Among Us.
We can do 15-person parties literally right now. The next update is going to have a vent cleaning task where if someone's already in the vent, you can clean it and it forces them to pop out.
Well, I knew about that. I thought I saw something that 15-person was coming. I didn't know it was already here.
Oh, yeah.
So that's my mistake.
That was the most recent update where we also got like all the new colors and stuff.
Yeah. So that's great, guys. You know, the more people that join the Discord, the more we're likely we were to have a party like that and a 15-person Among Us. It kind of scares me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but it would.
To hit 10. We struggle to hit 10. So you guys have got to help us fill out our party so that we can actually get over 10 and get anywhere close to 15.
Yeah, I believe we can do it. It's going to take some elbow grease and some real promotion from both of us, and I know I really go hard with promoting when I put my back into it. So let's do it. Let's do it. I'm not even going to say by the end of this year because I don't know if that's even enough time, but I would like it 2022 in some point. Get enough people for a 15-person Among Us lobby. So yeah, guys, we do Among Us Mondays. Get in on that. Follow us both on Twitter. My pinned tweet is to collect Q&A questions. So easiest place for you to submit your questions, I would say, is either my pinned tweet, which is ultimately the easiest, or if, again, you just donate the $3 and you get everything, the Q&A questions and the Discord access and the TWitWoW Discord. We have a channel for Q&A questions. Those, I think, are the two easiest hubs, my pinned tweet and the TWitWoW Discord. So use them both. Ashton's pinned tweet is the TWitWoW schedule. He has the schedule for July up. Let's just go through the, the rest of this week is really fucking simple. We have the Patreon request from Javaris tomorrow at 8 p.m. The 2 Kobashi matches. Comes out to a little under an hour, so it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be a breeze. And then I guess I'll get a little into just next week what Ashton has on the schedule here, because we have nothing Sunday or Monday, because, again, it's going to be, Among Us Monday during Raw. Tuesday at 10 is going to be NXT. We're going to be doing Gargano Cross with Joe as referee. Should be interesting. Wednesday the 14th, Stardom Cinderella, Summer Day 2, Osaka show. That's going to be at 5 p.m. That's actually happening tonight for Stardom. We hope it'll be up by Wednesday. Then a show that's happening on the 11th for Stardom we'll be covering on Thursday the 15th at 5. Smackdown will be our Money in the Bank Go Home show review. And then that weekend is Money in the Bank weekend. So that's all I'm going to cover for now, just because it touches on Money in the Bank and the best promotion in the world, Stardom. Guys, thank you so much for everything. You're always a wonderful audience. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And until we see you again, tune in. Peace out.